What's going on, agents? Biz here with another Division 2 video. Really excited about this one as we're going to dive into something I know all too well, and that's crit hits. For those of you new to the game or those who want a refresher on how to optimize this or maybe another attribute, keep it locked in here. As always, if you're new here or you've been around from the jump, you are welcome here. I seriously wouldn't be as laser focused if it weren't for all of you getting involved in the comments and checking out all the content on this channel. We're getting better together, and man, I really dig that. Keep it locked here for Division 2 and Heartlands content, and while you do that, let's strap up, crack an ice cold liquid death, and get to it. Okay, so before I get into the meat of this video, I want to brag on myself a bit. See, this time last year, this channel had maybe between 10 to 20,000 views. At the jump of 2022, I made some personal goals for the channel and myself, and I'm going to share one of them with you right now because last week, I did it, and the channel eclipsed 100,000 views. That's 100,000 views. To some, this may not seem like a lot, but for me, it's a goal I set out to achieve at the beginning of 2022, and I'm really proud to share with you that this would not have happened without all you coming through and checking out the channel, man. Thank you so much. You have no idea how much it means that people actually want to come and check this stuff out. It's crazy. It's so surreal. Go after your goals. Back to business. So one of my favorite setups to run in this game is a crit build. I've been a fan of this type of playstyle from all the way back to Division 1. These builds feel powerful, and I am here for it. So first off, to someone who may not know, what the heck is a crit build? Well, a crit build is a build that specs heavy into critical hit chance and damage. The first part of this build is critical hit chance. So think of crit chance as the lottery. You got to be in it to win it. The higher the chances, the more times that critical hit damage bonus will land, and critical hit chance caps at 60% for your agent. The second part to a crit build is critical hit damage. Now, if chance is the lottery, crit damage is the payout. Basically, if you land a crit shot, that crit damage percent gets added into the math of your base damage and makes that shot significantly more powerful. So now that we know what crit damage and crit chance are, how do you min-max that to your build? Well, in any build, there are a ton of places you can focus into. Gear and weapon talents, gear and weapon attributes, brand and gear set bonuses, even exotic talents, and the amount of mod slots go into min-maxing for any build. When we get into gear and weapon talents, 2 or 3 really come to mind that are a great addition to any crit build, and those are Obliterate, which is a chest talent, and for weapons, Killer and Strained. Those 2 make great additions as well. For those not sure what these do, Obliterate will add 1% weapon damage to your agent every time you crit, capping at 25% weapon damage. Killer will grant a bonus to crit hit damage when you kill an enemy with a crit hit. Finally, you got Strained, where you get a bonus to crit hit damage for every second you're shooting your weapon. Moving into gear and weapon attributes, obviously you want to run crit chance and damage. Keep in mind though, chance will cap at 60, so checking that as you're setting up the build is important. If you have too much crit chance, well, you might be wasting an attribute slot that you could put to crit damage or maybe in weapon handling or something else. For brand and gear set bonuses, there are some great one-piece bonuses in Grupo Sombra and Seska for crit hit chance and damage. Going into 2- and 3-piece bonuses, you have Negotiator's Dilemma and Umber Initiative, which are gear sets, along with Sokolov Concern and even Providence Defense, which are brand sets that provide bonuses if you have enough of those pieces on. On the exotic side of things, man, you also can't go wrong with either the Coyote's Mask, or even if you want to walk on the wild side, there's the Backfire for your crit damage pleasure. A crucial key to any build will also be the mod slots. Traditionally, you can only throw 3 mods on a build. There are some ways to bypass that and get a couple more than just those 3. We'll get into that in a little bit and why, sometimes, it's not necessarily the best option. Now that we know the players, let's take a look at how I've set this build up. Now, this is a great starter setup. I mean, can I get higher crit damage for this crit build? Probably. Actually, definitely. But running this build will allow your crits to do work and do so more efficiently. Overall, we have the base crit stats at a max 60% chance with 194.3% extra crit damage when we do hit those crits. Pretty nice, right? So to start, I go Gunner specialization here. I like Gunner for the sake of that armor on kill. The Banshee Pulse is nice as well, but as someone who regularly runs Unbreakable on my chest, when I don't, I need to find better ways to survive, and that armor on kill it helps a little bit. Going into weapons, we run the Eagle Bear. I experimented with a Carbine 7 here, but the Eagle Bear has some exotic mods on it, and I mean, it has the tenacity talent that defers damage that makes it a way good option on a crit build, or really any build in general. Might get some heat here. I mean, I don't really care. I worked hard for this bird gun, and I'm going to freaking use it. The mainstay weapon on this build, however, will be the named Vector Dark Winter. Now, this little wonder will come with the perfect version of Killer, where killing an enemy with a crit will add a bonus of 50% damage for 10 seconds. And that brings us up to 244.3 crit damage alone. Overall, this build is a 4 red, 2 blue core setup with everything, you guessed it, rolled a crit chance of damage to get us there. Doing 2 blue gets us the armor we'd normally get, and honestly have to wait a 60-second cooldown to get from Unbreakable. You know, it's all about balance sometimes. I always say it. You can do as much DPS as possible, but you're not going to do any if you're not vertical. Kicking things off, we have a Coyote's mask here. I talked about this earlier. This mask is going to come with a Pack Instincts talent that gives you a bonus to crit hit chance or damage based on how far you are from the last enemy you did damage to. And this brings enough bonus for the class as well, as you're going to buff your entire team. Pretty neat. As I run very close, I'm usually riding residing within that 25% bonus to crit hit damage that you get from being between 0 to 15 meters. That brings me to 219.3% crit damage, or 269.3 crit damage with the Killer talent unlocked on the Dark Winter. Now, while I was setting this up, I tried this build with the Chill Out mask. This named mask adds 2 mod slots as its named bonus. I thought this would be a better option, but honestly, when you do the numbers, a Chill Out mask is going to grant you 36% damage if you go all in and put all your mods into crit damage. When using the Pack Instincts, especially the short buff, you get 49% crit hit damage. Like I said, sometimes extra mods isn't necessarily the way. Moving into the rest of the gear, we do arrive on 1 piece of Grupo and 1 piece of Seska for bonuses to crit chance and damage. We also throw on a Fenris backpack for a bonus to ARs. I went with this since, yeah, Dark Winter will have bonuses that make it powerful. I wanted to help out my secondary, which is the Eagle Bear, as I swap out of weapons a lot. Speaking of the backpack and chest, we use a combo of Obliterate on the chest and Companion on the backpack. I really have been liking the ongoing damage increase when near an ally or skill from Companion, and since Obliterate gets more powerful as my agent crits, we like this for a crit build. Before we finish off with the gloves, I gotta let you know I threw on a Fox's Prayer. And this is your weekly reminder that Fox's Prayer, they're just too good as a knee pad. Damage target out of cover is great. You're welcome. With that out of the way, we get to the gloves, and we have a set of improvised gloves. Now, these gloves are an item that must be crafted, hence why they're called improvised. These gloves, they don't have a brand set bonus, but what they do have is an extra mod slot that you wouldn't have already because gloves don't necessarily have a mod slot usually. This comes in handy as a piece like this will net you an extra 12% crit damage. And this worked for me and actually did me better than running 2 pieces of Sokolov. This is mostly due in part to me spreading the weapon damage love to both guns. If you learned anything from Call of Duty, weapon swapping is much faster than reloading. Overall, the setup isn't necessarily record-breaking, but it's a great start and a gateway into making a crit build for those of you just starting out, or maybe just getting into crit builds. Getting the math right is super important in this game, so keep that in mind with any build, and you're going to succeed. Also, if I missed anything else, or if you have some advice for those min-maxing a build, I mean, you guys are the geniuses. Leave it in the comments below. Either way, that will wrap things up today. Thank you so much for stopping by and checking out the channel. Man, if you made it this far, please consider liking the video and subscribing so you never miss an update to the Division universe. You have no idea how much those little buttons help this channel get out to everyone else. So those of you who do it, bueno. I'll catch you next time I'm looking at you. I'm Biz, and I'm out.